This is still the morning show here on Signature TV, and we're going straight into discussions regarding road safety. And road safety has been in the news lately with the latest increase in the prices of licenses, plate numbers, so many things really going on there. Well, we'll soon talk about that a little more with a view to understanding exactly what is happening. We have with us an admin officer, Driver's License Center, RC Atu. Good to have you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. And we also have NNENNA. She's a public education officer in the Good Sector Command. Good morning. Thank you for joining.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
The question on everybody's lips is, why the increase in license? We are having issues with, finding food to eat. We have prices of things that have gone up, and you guys are still increasing your own. Why the increase?
Well, I think looking at what is happening in the country right now, there's an increase in almost everything. It's not just about the production of driver's licenses and all that things. So in order for us to meet the standards and also maintain the standard that we have already been maintaining for a while, there's need for us to increase the cost of production, because of course materials also have increased, and most of these things are not even gotten within the country. And so because of that, it's just necessary that at this point we need to review the prices so as to meet up with the current situation. That's just one of the reasons why the increase is taking effect. Yes, actually there was a shift, because by now we are supposed to have even started the increase, but they had to consider a lot of other things. We were supposed to start on the 1st of April. So they have to shift it from the 1st of April to on the 8th of June. So for now, it is until the 8th of June, that's when the new pricing will take effect.
1st of June. That's
8th of June.
8th of June,
yes.
Next month.
Yes.
Well, were there any consultations to this effect?
Of course, they've been having several meetings. The National Uniform Licensing Scheme, NULS, and also the Joint Tax Board, in collaboration with other agencies that are relevant to production of driver's license, that we have the VIO. The Joint Tax Board comprises of the Board of Internal Revenue, the Vehicle Inspection Officers, VIO, and also the Federal Road Safety Corps, and other stakeholders. They've been having meetings. They've had series of other meetings. They had one in Lagos and also had one in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. It was after a lot of deliberations and consultations that they came up with these price adjustments. So it's not like they just woke up one day and decided to increase the price. And besides, we've been doing a lot of enlightenments, because once that particular thing they thought about it and it came to light, started pushing out even all the flyers, and if you go to our offices, you see it. They're like my own office, that is the Driver's License Center here in Enugu Main at the Sector Command. If you go there, we already have the information in every office that you enter, at least to let people know this is what is going on and this is what we're expecting from this period. So at least we've been doing a lot. Like now, coming to the TV here to also talk about it is part of enlightening the public on what they should be expecting by the 8th of June.
The reason I ask that is because, I can't imagine asking someone, especially Nigerian, whether they would accept this increase, and they would say yes, increase it, because the economy is already biting hard, and so you would wonder really whether these consultations were really done well to the point that everybody accepted the road unions, civil society organizations and the likes.
The consultation was widely done, not just with just a group of persons. It cut across even up to the State Board of Internal Revenues. The State Board of Internal Revenue. Of course, the production of driver's licenses is even shared 50-50 with the states. For every driver's license that is processed or produced in Enugu State, the state government gets its own revenue from everybody that applies for driver's license. So the consultation will definitely get to all those people. And besides, you go to some of the offices where we have Federal Road Safety Corps, you also have the Board of Internal Revenue there, and we call it one-stop shop, where if you go, you get the VIO, you get the Board of Internal Revenue, and also have Federal Road Safety, either officers or marshals in the same place. So just in case maybe questions are asked, in case questions are asked concerning a particular thing, we'll always be there to, and if issues are raised and you need the attention of the officers or marshals there, they will definitely come to. And besides, this particular increase is not just about driver's licenses. It also includes the vehicle number plate productions. And there are prices, for instance, let me just take the price for driver's license. So it's not like the increase is too much. Most people will consider it to be high. Let me start with tricycle. Tricycle, we have just two categories of driver's license in terms of year of production. We have the 3 years and the 5 years. For the 3-year license for a tricycle, it was just within the range of 5,400 and something, but now it's now 7,000 naira officially.
3 years.
For 3 years for tricycle. Then for 5 years for tricycle is 11,000.
Wow.
Yes, it was 8,600 and something then, but it's now 11,000 naira. Then for that of 3 years for driver's license for motor vehicle, it's 10,350 naira. Officially, that's the price you pay online. That does not mean that is the only money you pay for driver's licenses, because of course, if you are to enroll for a driver's license, you must go through the process of obtaining a driving school certificate. You must have gone through driving school, where you also pay some other money. And also when you're done, there are other fees by the state, where the state generates its own revenue, where you have to get 1 or 2 other documents to add to the online form, the ML18 form that you're going to get from our portal. Then we also have the 5-year driver's license, which is now, then it was 15,450 naira, but now it's 21,000 naira. So if you check, it's just about 5,500 naira that was added to 5 years, and also we're 4,650 naira that was added to 3 years. That is down 15,000. Then if you check the one of 8,650 naira, that is now 11,000. It's just about 3,000 naira. So the increase is not really much, if you want to consider it that way.
You mentioned 10,000 naira for 3 years.
10,000.
10,000 for 3 years.
Just say, why I'm calling 350 is because if you are paying online, there's a bank charge attached to it. But the price itself is 10,000.
Okay.
Now the 15,000, it's 15,000, but the bank, I'm just calling so that in case if somebody sees the price, you won't be surprised, because online you see it is 15,450 and the rest. So, but that 450 naira that was there before is bank charge.
Okay. But you said there is other things that you pay for.
If you are processing a fresh driver's license, for instance, you also go to the VIO to do vehicle tests.
For the first time?
For the first time.
Okay.
You do a vehicle test, which you are going to pay for to obtain the vehicle test certificate. You are going to pay to obtain the vehicle test certificate. You are also going to obtain a driving school certificate, which the enrollment is also depends on the approved driving school you are going to go. Some varies from 10,000, some charge above 10,000 just to obtain the certificate. So if you add that to the amount, you know what you're paying already. Then you also that's for first time. What about somebody who is renewing? When you are renewing your driver's license, you still take your form to the Board of Internal Revenue. The VIO has a column
from the form that you got from the online
from ML18 form.
Okay, and then
you take it to Board of Internal Revenue. They also have to endorse, because they are supposed to also test you to see
test.
Yes, or they are supposed to carry out a test to know whether you know how to drive.
I doubt if they ever test people.
Once they do, they sign. The Board of Internal Revenue has a column to sign to verify your form that this payment has been made.
How much is renewal?
Renewal is the same price. The only difference with fresh driver's license is this other one, that you have to be enrolled first to obtain a driving school certificate. And before you can even obtain the driving school certificate, you must have gotten a learner's permit. So that also is included in the money you pay extra for the driver's license. The learner's permit is the VIO that issues learner's permit. So before you even go ahead to process a driver's license, you are supposed to have obtained a learner's permit to drive first, before you even start the process of learning how to drive. And the enrollment be done. And the enrollment ordinarily is 26 sessions for 2 hours per day for each applicant who has applied online. You know, and we have approved driving schools who do the enrollments.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, let's come to NNENNA. NNENNA, so much has been said about the FRSC. The other time, they're talking about carrying arms. So many persons think that it's about time that the organization starts bearing arms, giving your work. Do you buy into that? We know that in Enugu, I think some time ago, I was hearing the story, I think it was a true life story, about how a vehicle actually knocks one of you down, or, you know, on the road. And that again brought up this discussion around whether it's about time that you guys start bearing arms. Can you speak to that?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. I think the arms, it gives one kind of an authority and protection somehow. The job we do, we find ourselves on the road, meeting people that are sane and people that are not sane. You know. We meet all calibers of people on the road, and we have to contend with that. We've had situations where our people doing their lawful duties are knocked down recklessly. Some even had the guts to say that I must kill a road safety officer. I've had people say that often, especially when you impound them. We are telling you, you did this wrong and you have to pay a fine for doing it. After payments, most times the person will go out and say, any day I see a road safety person, I will do this and do that. And those threats, sometimes they become real. But if you see somebody that is having arm, you will take time to come close to that person. So I think if our organization is those people that are up there caring for our affairs, feels it's time for us to be armed, I think it's right.
You are pushing it to the people up there.
The decision is really not mine.
It's actually management's decision.
Yeah, it's not my decision, it's their decision. Once they are made up their mind.
Most people are advocating that it's necessary at this point, but to my own point of view, it all boils, you know, road safety is everybody's business. It's not just about bearing arms alone. It's for the general motoring public being willing to at least obey the road traffic rules and regulations, first off. You must not be there for someone to drive right. I must not be there for you to put on your seatbelt or maintain your vehicle, which is one of the things, or drive on a particular speed, approved speed limit for a category of vehicle. If you wait for us to stand on the road, for instance, like people are advocating that we should bear arms, to stand with a gun and stand and before you obey, then it means you are not actually doing the right thing. The way the world is going, we are advancing in technology. So I would rather advocate for more of technology, where we don't need to pursue people up and down, for instance, or stand with arms on the road, but rather adopt a strategy where everybody who has registered his vehicle can be sent a fine or be only deducted from your account when you carry out or you break any rule on the road. For instance, you are driving, you are not supposed to drive above, say, 100 kilometers per hour, and you are driving excessive speed of about 120 or 130, or maybe, let's say, 20 kilometers per hour on the built-up area. For instance, this road that we just drove to your office now, and somebody is driving at 100. And there should be something that will just pick your information and database is reported, and in the next few minutes you are getting a deduction from your account for a particular offense, and the evidence is there to show. If that is done, you discover once money is taken, people will always behave. I think I would rather advocate for more technology, and yes, that's just my own point of view.
The officer is actually advocating for a sane society, and we have to start from somewhere. We don't just get there overnight. The things we see now, it's we need more of a public enlightenment. People listen, yes. People hear, people understand. It actually takes understanding for people to act right. Because if a driver knows that, if I am driving within the stipulated speed limit, and I'm lane disciplined, and I'm not overspeeding, and I am conscious of the next driver, we're beginning to have a sanitized road. And when we do that, you find out that we really don't even need that technology much, even though it is important. But it's all in us. We should do what we're supposed to do. We get a sanitized road. But we don't just wake up one day and we see it happening. We have to go back to the grassroots. We go back to our homes. I've had situations when I want to drive out and my son will say, Mom, you're not wearing your seatbelt, and you go out there and tell people to wear your seatbelt. So when we stay having our children, even making us to understand that safety is everybody's business. We will go places like the program we used to do, catching them young, going to schools, primary, secondary schools, talking to them about safety. If we can inculcate those safety rules in our children, even when we forget, they'll be there to remind us that this is not the right thing. And do it this way, and we get it right. So we all need to go back to the roots and get things working from there.
What are the categories of fines that you have right now? I think they are different from the different types of violations of road rules. What are the categories right now?
For us, we are talking first. The first talk for today is driver's license. Driver's license violation is 10,000 naira if you are driving without a driver's license or an expired driver's license. Your fine is 10,000 naira. For instance, if you are driving, the use of seatbelt violation is 2,000. If you are not on seatbelt, it's 2,000.
And it's paid at the spot?
Yes. No.
Spot.
You go to the bank to pay?
If why most people don't like our operations is because first we need to hold something of value from the person that is being booked for an offense. For instance, if you are driving on the express and we are accosted you on the road, or you are apprehended by our patrol operatives on the road, after they must have checked and seen that maybe you have a primary offense and also the secondary offense, they will request for something that can be equivalent to the amount of money that is issued to you. So there they will either confiscate your driver's license or your vehicle license. Or if you don't have any of these ones, maybe you are driving with a photocopy or you don't have a driver's license, your vehicle will be impounded. Now, it is after that, after the ticket has been issued, you now go to the bank to make payments and come back with the evidence of payments and do the proper documentation before your vehicle will be released.
Okay, so when you are caught, you are forced, beyond just paying the fines, because what I see is, as soon as you pay the fine, then you are giving your vehicle.
No, there are public enlightenment officers and marshals attached to every offender that is issued a ticket. We'll give you a little bit of public enlightenment based on the offense that was committed by you.
And also based on the reactions.
On the reactions. So most times, a lot of people act with so much ignorance. So when we understand that we really need to talk to you more. If we are not satisfied, sometimes they give others. They'll give you a particular session to come back for re-enlightenment. You come back, they'll take you on a particular topic just to ensure that we remove the kind of mentality you have. Because there are people there who believe that as far as they're on the road, is Jesus that is driving their vehicle.
And there are some other offenses that...
And even when you are trying to tell them that, why are you doing this? They'll tell you, man, it is not because of road safety, it's God that is driving the car. So at that point, you see that kind of mentality, you need to really talk to that kind of person, because yes, heaven help those who help themselves. You can't be driving recklessly and expect that God will come and take the wheel. He will actually leave the wheel for you to drive. So that's one of the things. When we see those like that, then there are certain reactions from people that are not really in order. For instance, our patrol operatives are on the road and they are flagging you to stop. By law, you are supposed to stop. But you see people driving recklessly, some will even want to chase the men on the road. And if by any reason you are caught at that kind of act, they bring you back to the office. It will subject you to go through series of public enlightenment, at least. Then also, use of phone while driving. You are using your phone while driving. Yeah, the management came up with something that was very important, because we noticed, we know the dangers of driving, distracted driving, and you are using your phone while driving. Yes, the offense is just an amount that most people feel, I have money, I can pay. But if you are now giving a referral to go and carry out a test a psychological examination test, evaluation, sorry, in a psychiatric hospital. At that time, you know that yes, something serious is being done. So if you are subjected to carry out a psychiatric evaluation based on the fact that you're not supposed to drive with a phone and you are using it, then definitely when you come back, you'll be the one advocating that people should not drive. Yes.
And you know, in all fairness, people that have gone through this a public enlightenment after they were apprehended leaves better people, because they now understand why we're actually there on the road and why we're doing what we're doing. And that understanding helps them to drive better anytime they go to the road. Even when they see you, they will, road safety officer, they appreciate your work you are doing on the road. So I think it's very important that people are brought together to understand why they should stay sane on the road while they're driving.
Right. What about eating while you're driving?
they're all in the same category.
Well, you can even say, what of drinking while you're driving?
Exactly.
It doesn't really do. Most people will tell you, see, everything that distracts you while you're driving, you're not supposed to do it. First, eating can be done by just, I know somebody will want to say, what if I buy a snack? Maybe ice cream. At that point, your concentration level has reduced, because first you are enjoying what you are taking, and you're driving, and you'll be distracted kind of. So it is even important you can just stop your vehicle in a safe location, do what you want to do, then you continue driving. That's just how it's supposed to be. I want to make a very serious call. You stop by the road, but we don't even encourage you stopping by the road most times to take calls. The reason is, what if a message that is bad is passed to you and it affects you? Right, for instance, you lost a loved one and you're breaking the news while you're on steering. You won't drive with 100% concentration, because your mind may not even be on the road at the moment. So that's one of the things we don't even want for people.
So people should not use their phones at all. It's more like answer, don't even carry.
You can answer calls, but you need to stop your vehicle in a safe place to pick the calls, if you know the type of calls that is even coming to your phone.
What about the call that is,
okay, hands-free? Hands-free.
Is that allowed?
A lot of people use that hands-free. Yeah, hands-free is still not allowed. For instance,
it's not allowed?
You are discussing with someone, your mind is not even there. Even when you are carrying, I'm not saying people should not interact, for instance, even when you have people in your car. But there are certain discussions that can take you out of the road. You cannot always concentrate. So sometimes driving is not just driving is an art, and it's not something that anybody is a professional about. We master it the more we do it. So there's no person that can come out to say I'm the best driver. No. So if some persons will come out to say I've been driving for 40 years, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter that you've been driving for 40 years that you're a good driver. You still enter another vehicle where you see another person driving, and you know that this guy knows. It happens to me most times. I know how to drive very well, but when I enter a car, when I see someone who knows how to drive, I appreciate driving. I will know that I have not even started. It's not like the person is speeding or something, but you know that this person is good. That's how it's supposed to be. So then you will not know what the person is doing. You just interact and you are distracting the person.
Right.
So
I mean, it's rainy season, and we're getting into the thick of the rainy season. I understand that's some of this advocacy, and then that your office really does do, this period. What are those advocacies, or what are those things that people should look out for while it rains? Because I understand that during the rains, of course, it's usually blurred. People will say use your wiper, but sometimes wipers don't even do good. So what are those advocacies for this rainy season for people who are using the roads?
Okay, well, first of all, I want to say that the totality of your vehicle, when you check your vehicle, you must make sure that everything is working right. Because if the brake is working right and the wiper is not good, that means you're not going anywhere. We need people to check their vehicle. Check the wiper, check the tires, check your oil, check your brake. In short, every morning we're supposed to do the wolf test. You check the water, you check the oil, you check the fan belt.
Wolfed.
Yes.
Okay, so that's like an acronym for something.
Yes.
That's water,
That's the water,
oil,
your fan belt,
fan
and your
belt,
tire.
and tire.
Make sure they are intact. And the next one, you should add also the light. Because if you are driving and you don't have eyes, which is a light.
So woofed.
Now we now add the light. The light. It's woofed. I'm not putting the light now.
What she actually said is what we call the first vehicle parade.
Okay.
We call it a parade in the morning. So and it's even carried out by our own drivers.
Okay.
It is not expected that a driver of FRSC or anybody should enter his car and just put the key and start. It's wrong. So first, even if the car is a new one, sometimes you still need to check one or two things. There can be errors. So you need to check the oil, if it's properly gauged. You need to check the water. You need to check if your fan belt is actually rotating, because most people you see abandon their cars on the road because of they call it overheat or something. When your vehicle is heating up, sometimes you start your vehicle and you don't know that the fan is not working properly. But if you start the car, yes, it can fail, no doubt, but you need to, from home, you need to ensure that your fan is working. And then you also check for your water, just in case there's the shortage, you need to add and all that. So we call it first vehicle parade. That's what every driver is supposed to carry out. Then for this period, we advocate for safe speed, defensive driving, where you drive and know that the next person by your side is also a human being. And you know that that person can also have wrong judgments. So you drive for yourself and that person. You drive for your own safety and the safety of that person. If you are supposed to give a safe distance, you give a safe distance. If you are not supposed to give, you are supposed to give right of way to the person, you give right of way. Simple, like especially at the roundabout. Then also, we advocate for, most people tailgate a lot. Somebody is just following you behind too fast. The simple rule for avoiding tailgating is you drive to ensure that you are seeing the back tire of the next vehicle in front of you.
The back tire of the next person in front of you.
The next vehicle in front of you.
Okay. That means don't go too close.
If you go too close, you won't even see it. So you give a distance where you can see the tire completely. So it means you are keeping a safe distance. And we have braking and stopping distance. When you brake your car, it doesn't stop automatically. It still takes a distance before the car comes to a halt. So if you are tailgating, you are following too close, you stop automatically. It still rolls and you still hit the person in front of you. And also, for instance, we don't encourage night journeys because first, security-wise and all that, most people don't even know how to drive in the night. Their eyes are not too clear to see very well. Then if you know it's foggy and all that, if your vehicle doesn't have AC, I know those who have AC may not be having this issue. And once the AC is on, the glass is always clean. But when the AC is not working, you discover you need to use rag most times to wipe your vehicles. And like she also talked about the issue of lighting. The lighting is not just about the headlamp. The brake system is supposed to be active, because if you need to stop your car when it's raining, that the visibility is poor, the person behind you should see the red light to know that, okay, there's danger ahead, let me also
and also the hazard lights.
The hazard lights by the side should also be active, though most people don't know how to use hazard light. The hazard light is when we call it double trafficator.
One-way trafficator.
Or they call it one-way. The normal idea is one way. But it's actually supposed to be used on emergencies.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe your car is faulty and you want people to avoid, maybe you're moving on a certain speed that is not supposed to be, and you don't want people to, you've discovered that there's a fault and you don't need to drive fast.
Maybe you're not even seeing clearly.
Or you're not seeing clearly. You need to put the hazard light so that people will know that there's danger. That's just the purpose for hazard light. It's not, maybe you want to do, most people call it, you want to overtake vehicles or something, you now put hazard light. It's wrong. If it's clear for you to overtake, you only put the directional light, which is the traffic light, or you call it anyhow you want to call it. You put it, and once you are done, you turn it back. And that can only be done when you know that at least 100 meters from where you are is safe in front and there's no incoming vehicle. So that's just the calculations most times for these things.
I like that you advocated earlier for digital ways of doing things for the country and for the organization because it's quicker and faster. But I'm just asking whether you think that, because I really don't think it is okay to go online and still take the documents to an office. But you just get the documents once and for all. You've paid, and then you don't start rushing the thing.
It's a work in progress. I believe it's going to be harmonized soon. But for now, it's still the fact that the state governments benefit from the production.
Why can't it be shared? If the money is paid, why can't the money be shared from the source? As long as you pay.
For instance, if you are to carry out a vehicle test, for instance, if you are to carry out a test by VIO in the state, Board of Internal Revenue, in the state government, the money will not be paid to the federal government. It's the state that will get that money. Now, the money online that is paid, like I said, for instance, the 15,450 for 5 years online, and that money is 15,000 naira. That is the actual fee. Now, what goes to the government, the production is different, and the rest. What goes to the state is half of that amount for every license that is produced. For anybody that, for instance, if you want to renew your license today, 15,000. Half of that money goes to the state. Half goes to.
So I won't pay any other thing again.
You still take that form to the Board of Internal Revenue VIO for them to endorse. Ordinarily, you are supposed to go through a vehicle test. You are supposed to drive your car for them to see that you know how to.
I know, but let's be realistic with the ones that we know that happens, because this one you're saying that doesn't happen. People who renew their papers, they nobody test them. So it's not something that you've spoken about the rules, that this is what it should be, but it doesn't happen. So I'm just saying that when you pay that 15,000 naira online, what happens afterwards? Like, do you pay any other money when you go to the office?
No, in the office, no, because you must have been through with signing the forms, paid VIO, do all those other ones. All you need to do is when you are through with that, or you must have been through with all that, you bring the form to our office, you submit the form, the operators will do what we call operators approval or validations.
Okay.
And that's to check if the information that you actually imputed there is correct. Most times, that's when we now discover that most people who do it on their own, they may be physically challenged. For instance, you have an eye defect. Most of them don't know that we have classes of driver's licenses. So they will issue themselves a wrong class of license. So at that point, once we see you and we notice maybe you have one eye defect or something, the operators will now change. At that point, they can change to the class of license only for those who have physically challenged issues.
Okay.
But if you don't have, for instance, you have already you have applied for a class G license or whatever, that one is for trucks, heavy duty vehicles. That one is strictly commercial driver's license. There's a process. You need to get a medical certificate of fitness. You need to get at least a doctor's report to be sure. You know, of course, you are not driving a small vehicle, it's a heavy duty vehicle. You need to be sure that this person that is coming to capture on this license is medically fit to operate that kind of motor vehicle. So,
and it happens? It happen, really?
Yes, we do that. We don't just issue, and besides, you must be at least 26 years and above before you can obtain a commercial class license. It's not like when I'm 18, I can drive a truck. No. If you come to our office and you said you want to obtain a driver's license for a commercial vehicle and you are not up to 26 years, you can't be issued.
Why is that?
First, online, it won't even go through.
Why?
Because the person is at least supposed to be mature enough to operate that kind of vehicle. You know, let's use the word youthful exuberance. This how they call it, this anxiety or this thing that comes with knowing how to drive at the first stage. So if you must have driven for about 18 to 26 years, at least you've had a little experience. So that gives you something to do when you're on the road. You know what to do. Let's not just give vehicles to people that can run into people's building structures and just kill people anymore. So that's one of the reasons.
Nice. Let me come to you. Are there, what are the most common road violations or traffic violations that we have in Nigeria? And how are you people mitigating against it? I mean, I know the go-to thought would be enlightenment program, but beyond the enlightenment though, what are other things that you do? And what are the most common? And why do you think people commonly do those things? And how can they be mitigated against?
So many. We have the route violation.
Route violation?
Routes. Yes.
R-O-U-T-E.
Where people leave their lanes and decide to go opposite the lane. And you know what it means? It causes a lot of crashes. That's mainly what we have at Ubunyanma.
Okay.
Where people leave their lanes and follow the other lane and people crash.
That Ubunyanma thing, I think is another question I was going to ask.
Okay, maybe
is there something that we can do?
We are already doing something about it.
I think if I'm to add to Ubunyanma, like I'll say, it's just sometimes human nature. Like why I say that is because, you know, I'm driving on this road, you've recorded so many incidences of traffic crashes. You should drive with consciousness, knowing that, okay, fine, this place, maybe because of the steep, because of the design of the road or whatever, then because of the terrain and every other factor that may come into play, you drive safely on that road, maintain a safe speed. There's no way sometimes all these crashes will be happening. But if you go now, even as we speak, the last time I drove on that road, I was just driving and checking some of these issues, why this particular thing is happening, keep reoccurring, and I'll notice that it's just negligence of the drivers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Not the road itself, not the way the road itself.
The road is there for you to use. Whether the road is a dwindling road, winding left and right, it is for you to maintain a safe speed that can take you from point A to B. Now you notice that a truck is here, another truck is here, and a vehicle will want to put itself in between. And now the little space by your right, you see a car trying to take that spot. And you know, like she said, people driving against traffic, when you recall road violation, and you, in fact, one of the things that kills people on that road is lane discipline. When you are not maintaining a particular lane, you should anticipate or expect that, okay, because people always come to this lane, that I'm not just going forward, the other vehicles may be coming. You avoid that place. You maintain a particular side of the road, driving so that you avoid head-on-head collision. But you notice people are any little opportunity. You see people just fixing their vehicles and looking for ways of, you know, like we always say, if I drive at the speed of 80 and you drive at the speed of 120 and we are going towards the same location, if you get to that location at 120, it will take me 5 minutes that I'm driving 80 to still get there. So there's there's actually no need for us to always be in a hurry.
I still want to add something to that Ubunyanma issue. See, it would still take it back to human beings, because what causes crashes could be natural, it could be
we have the human factor, environmental factor, mechanical factor.
So let's go to the human factor. If my vehicles are okay, I've done what I'm supposed to do, the car maintenance, the vehicle maintenance, and I'm driving at a very safe speed, that's more than 90% of the crashes we have will be cut off the road. And another one is like the terrain. It is slopey. That road is slopey. If all the lorries, the big trucks that ply that road drive safely, that's safe speed this time, and they ensure that their brake mechanisms are okay. If I know that you can hold your brake as you're coming down the slope, you will be able to manage your brake. But most times we have brake failures from up down. That is when we usually have fatalities. And that is why most people, when they drive, once they enter that way, they will start speeding because they don't know what is coming behind them. So they will move to avert the RTs, the road traffic crashes, without knowing that the speed alone is part of the things that causes the crashes. So back to the humans. If the humans should do what they're supposed to do, maintain the road discipline or route discipline, maintain their vehicles, drive safely, and also have understand that even the smaller vehicles have the right to the road, because you see the big lorries.
It's not just vehicles alone.
Okay, the vehicles, the people driving it, but you see
Pedestrians walking. Even animals.
We are still talking about the Ugonyama issue, understand? We don't have a lot of pedestrians on that road. It's only big trucks and the small vehicles. If the lorries or the big vehicles, you understand, those small cars have the right to the road, and don't try to push them off the road as well. You see that they will drive safer. So we all have to go back and find out what is this that we need to do. Personally, I want to stay alive first, and I want other people plying the roads to be alive as well. So when we do that, if any of them, we will do the right thing. We will drive safely, and everybody will arrive home safely.
Right. So what are the road rages, or maybe if you want those road rules that people break?
Okay, like overspeeding.
Overspeeding.
And overspeeding causes most of the fatalities that we have. If a car is driving at a stipulated speed, like 40 kilometers built-up areas, 45 kilometers built-up areas, even if there is a crash, it will be minimal. Lives will not be lost. But when you overspeed, you are thrilled by the speed, you want to show off, you have a new car that can speed, you find that if anything happens, it will be difficult to manage. So overspeeding causes fatality, lane indiscipline, let me put it that way, causes fatality and road traffic crashes. Then if we are wearing our seatbelts in the vehicle, when we are in the vehicle, we have this false notion that we are protected. The car is protecting us. It's those ones that are riding bicycles and on tricycles that are exposed. But it's not always like that. Everything in that vehicle has a reason why the producers kept it there. Like the seatbelt, it meant to hold you. If anything happened, you will not fling off the car. But most people, when they enter the vehicles, they don't use it. I don't know if they want to feel free or they want to show people that I can drive without a seatbelt. But that thing is safety for you. So if people wear their seatbelt, even if there is issue or something comes up, the person still stays safe, and whatever happens will be minimal. Okay, we also see people, children driving. That one it's menace. Because you have money to buy cars, you have more than you need, you carry a vehicle and give to a child that is less than 18. Because he's big, he feels like he's 20, while he is 17 plus. You give him the vehicle.
Most people will even give their cars to children of 15 years.
Because they are big and they have it.
This actually is just because there's an advancement in technology, so most of the cars you see around are easy to drive. You have automatic vehicles mostly. Yeah. Then you need to drive a manual car, so you need to know how to shift and do all the clutching and the braking at the same time. The coordination is more. But now, once you know how to do steering control, you know how to step on your brakes and how to engage the gears. Those are the three things. But driving is beyond that.
Right.
There are a lot of coordination involved in. You need to understand the length of your car. You need to master the type of brakes you are using. You need to also know how to use your side mirrors, your rear mirrors. You need to do a lot of other, management of first of your anger, because if you're driving on the Nigerian roads, definitely you are going to be an angry person, of course. So you know how to manage anger a lot, because people are, there are times you actually don't want to speed with your vehicle, but somebody will just do one thing that will trigger you, and you want to show the person. So at that point, you need to be calm. A lot of other things. So at that age, they don't have all that kind of control and composure. Right. So you don't give your vehicles to kids to drive. So
do people have issues with women driving?
No,
because I've heard a few persons
complaining about women. Right?
Yes, saying that look, women in stereos, once they see some defects in driving, they say na woman be that. They make those kinds of.
They even get sympathy by driving.
Sometimes, but it's not all the time.
No, actually, we have very good drivers, female drivers, and we also have we have the bad ones too. Let me not just say they are all good. No, because I've had experiences even when I was a patrolman and all that. You meet most women on the road, they don't even know the functioning of the car. Their own is, my husband owns the vehicle or bought a car for me. My work is just enter the car, put my key and move. Sometimes when you are even carrying out safety checks in vehicles that you see on the road, you notice that the person is just driving one without a spare tire. I don't know, when I went to watch the car, they removed it. You know, like, but there's no fire extinguisher, there's no jack. In case maybe you have a flat tire, there's no jack, there's nothing. The only thing the person knows is there's fuel and I'm driving. And that's all. And we have most cases with the females, the women. That one, I'm very sure what I'm saying. So, but yeah, we have some men who are also careless, but it's rare. At least most men take their time to actually understand why they're on the road. But if I buy a car for Agu, for instance, now, our work is to drive now.
I think I have something to say with that. So yeah, if statistics have shown that cars driven by women
last longer.
Oh, really?
Yes, because they are not reckless. They treat the car the way they treat their children, so they always careful. Don't scratch my
sure
car.
About that, though?
Yes, I've been driving for 13 years now.
That's why most people will just see a car slow, kind of, they'll say now.
Yes, because we are always careful on the road. We don't want to overspeed. We don't want to do wrongful overtaking. We are always careful. So when you say that about women, I have something to say. It's not really right. Yes. So we acknowledge that
women are actually good drivers.
Yes,
like I said it earlier. I said we have some female good drivers, but we have some other ladies
who really don't care.
Who are highly distracted by
their kids or something, or phone calls or something.
And you know, it's quite difficult controlling children in cars.
Right.
That's why we don't even advocate for a child that is less than is it 10, 11 to sit in front of.
It's 12.
12.
Less than 12 years. If you're not up to 12, you're not sitting in the front.
Sit in front. Oh, really?
First, the impact, for instance, if there is a collision, the seat belt itself, you know, straps you.
And also,
and if there's an impact,
airbag,
it straps you, and the let's just say the configuration of the child may not be strong enough to withstand that impact. And also we also talk about suffocation by airbags. The airbag may just shoot and all that, so you may not be big enough to, you know, normally the airbag is supposed to come to your chest if you are okay, but the child, it may come straight to the head. So you need to also allow your children to get used to sitting behind the car and be their driver. They shouldn't be by your side. Your wife, for instance, should be by your side, but the children should always be behind.
And if the wife is pregnant, you should go to the back as well.
And if your wife is also heavy, pregnant.
I'll carry the baby.
I know
pregnant people even drive.
Yeah,
yes.
we also have a challenge. I had a challenge before. One of the days I was driving, I was on the road, I was on patrol, where a man had to stop his car and said he was not going to drive again. That he has begged the wife to go back. She was pregnant though. And the woman has refused that. He knows that if he gets to where he sees road safety, that we are not going to be happy. That he even begged the wife to put on seatbelt. And the lady also refused because of the pregnancy. So I had to educate the woman. I say it's for your own safety. So, and your husband is not going to, that seat will not be given to another person. It's not because you are not there that the seat will be given to someone else. It's just for your safety. It's not for any other thing. So just please, madam, go behind so that your husband can drive comfortably and with concentration. That you are distracting him already. If you notice, look at the way he stopped. And he's angry. So I had to just, I spoke to them, enlightened them, and she now left the front seat and sat down behind, and they continued their journeys.
I hope not grudgingly. The other ones where the woman will carry babies, carry a very small child in the front seat, and it's really, really bad because she might be strapped down with a seatbelt, but the child is not safe. It's not safe at all. If anything happens, that baby goes first. So people out there, you should understand that being in the front doesn't make you the best at that time. You can be at the back and still be the best and also stay safe. So what is important is the safety of everybody.
Okay, so on the final note, this is just within the 1 or 2 minutes now. so many persons have complained about extortion by the FRSC staff. Where is the extortion happening? Is it at the point where is it mandatory that you must do your stuff online, or you have to come to the office? Because I'm thinking, if this is online, at what point will the extortion come in?
No,
So where exactly are the flashpoints of
the issue of extortion is a two-way thing. I won't exonerate operatives on the road 100%. No, we have a challenge. We had course where I went with one of our commanding officers for a program, and I bought what he said. He said the person that is receiving and the giver, they are committing an offense.
Same thing.
So most people don't want to go through the process of going to the bank and pay. And if you as an operative on the road, you're not the type that can restrain yourself when you see money, you definitely have to, you start collecting the money. Some people tell you, how much is the offense? Say, please, I don't get time. I'm rushing somewhere. Please, what's the offense? The person will be flashing money. At that time, if you are not the type that will say no, most people will start collecting. And it's the person that's inducing the person to get the money. At the end of the day, the ball will always, the fingers will always be pointing at the person collecting
the money.
Now, fines, offenses can be paid online. It's a remitter platform. Anybody can pay for your offense. Even as you are sitting down here, if you pay, you can print it. If you are issued a ticket, even as you are driving, you are issued a ticket. While you are even taking your vehicle to the office, you know how to go about it. Before you even get to the office, you have finished paying for your. It's just that sometimes we don't want to learn some of these things. This payment will not even take you 5 minutes.
Nice.
Once you put you go to remitter.net, you put the information, you are paying for FRSC fines. Once you drop down, every other thing drops down for you to just fill. Once you fill, it takes you to it redirects you to where you make payments. Once you make payments, it takes you back and generates an automatic receipt for you.
Right.
There's a place for you to even put your email address. He sends you a copy of the receipt. You can even print it from your email.
Okay.
You just come with that, carrying your information and the information of your vehicle, for instance. And
All right.
everything is done easily. So ordinarily, you are not supposed to even come and give anybody money to assist you to pay.
Fantastic. Let's leave it here, gentlemen. I mean, we'll always have these kinds of discussions, more this year at least, between now and say Ember Month, because I know Ember Month, you guys always have this major.
And we're having Salah Patrol coming up.
Okay.
That will be next
week.
Next week.
Yes.
Okay. I think we can engage further with you guys so that maybe from time to time we can join your crew, you know, in doing some interviews on the streets as relates to the issues of the road matter. I want to say a very big thank you to you both. Atu is the admin officer, drivers, license center Enugu Main, and of course NNENNA Ago. Thank you so much for your time and for your
having us in the
analysis.
studio this morning.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.